And so I talked to 20 voters, not one of them was undecided.
Wow.
Not one.
Not one. And headlines come and go, but let me tell you this. Support for former President Trump is real and resilient. I encounter that everywhere I went. And that's something the Harris campaign knows, recognizes, a fact in Michigan. And so I talked to 20 voters, not one of them was undecided.
They're saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in.
Okay, so you had a fairly large portion with hand dial, so everybody's like doing this real time, you're getting it. What was going on there?
So I think this was an exercise of framing, and I think this is one of the best things that Donald Trump did last night, was he framed something that people are going to remember, which is, if she's saying that she's going to do all these things, why hasn't she done it in the last 3.5 years? And it's a question that a lot of voters had, and I think it's also the question a lot of Democrats have. So you didn't see Democrats go as low when he was talking about that, because they want to know, what is going to be different now? What are you going to do different? And it was a very, very smart exercise in framing. He should have done it earlier. This is his closing. It could have done it often and all throughout, because I do think it was one of the most powerful things he did.
All right.
Hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so the debate is over, and of course we're already witnessing a full-on widespread propaganda event currently happening in the mainstream media. Oh, Kamala Harris did so good, Donald Trump did so bad, blah 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 blah. It's gonna be non-stop nightly coverage of the same freaking talk.
Y'all see this meme? Wait, just wait a second. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot get over the meme. I'm sorry. It is just so funny because Biden is just trending right now for putting on that Trump hat. But make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, man. I love you guys, and I hope everybody's having a blessed, healthy, and amazing week. That happy Friday, that things are going well for you and your family, your loved ones, your friends, the neighbors, the strangers around the world, man. One love to the human race, baby. Yes, indeed, man. How do y'all think about all this that is taking place, man? You know, but hey, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie, man. And a lot of people are just sick and tired. They're sick of the lies. They're sick of the fake news. They're sick of the bias reporting, the fake headlines. You know, they're sick of hearing the same exact things that have been debunked. They're sick of hearing it.
Points over and over again. This was not a good night for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris looked so strong and intellectual and intelligent. We get it. You know, the shills are going to do what the shills are going to do. But if you look beyond that, and if you look at the people who are doing more of the independent coverage, you're noticing one talking point pop up a lot. That the media is going to do what it's doing. The left is going to react as if, oh man, Kamala Harris just flipped the tables on Donald Trump. Right-wingers are going to celebrate and say Donald Trump BTFO'd Kamala Harris. What's important here is what undecided voters think. You know, where are they tracking? Are they just following the media bonanza? Oh, Kamala Harris is a female human being with a D next to her name, and she didn't collapse on stage. Oh, well, that pretty much does it for me. I'd vote for a toaster if it wasn't Donald Trump. Or are they realizing that Kamala Harris is a total phony? You know, it's so weird because the left in the media wants to keep the conversation so shallow. Oh, Donald Trump appeared mean and angry. That's what I keep hearing from them. He appeared mean, angry, and old and was bringing all of his grievances to the table. You know, to a certain extent, I think there was one element where Trump could have done a little bit better. You know, he kept going back to the immigration issue, where I think he had a whole lot more material than that. So I understand the way the left's trying to frame this thing, but like I said, it's just so shallow. They want to make the conversation angry old man rants about immigration versus Kamala brat joy. I mean, it's literally that simple. She was on stage and she looked commanding and looked powerful. She had a good presence. She answered the questions. You know, it's literally nonsense like that. They talk about the most surface level nonsense without actually getting deeper into the details. But in my view, independents are interested in the details. They're going to cut through all the nonsense. Okay, yeah, Donald Trump is a little bit of a character. Yeah, we already know. He's been on the political scene for more than 8 years. What are the ideas that they are talking about? The policies? Who's winning in terms of substance? Well, I mean, is Kamala ever really going to win in terms of substance? Is she ever going to win a debate or present a substantive vision? We already know that's never going to happen. And it seems like independents might feel the same way. I got some really interesting visualized data to show you guys. This, frankly, should be the story everywhere. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so a little bit of a long intro, but I really wanted to lay out all the groundwork there, because the left is telling you that once again, the sky's falling, Donald Trump might as well just drop out of the race. But this real-time study might be telling a completely different story. Live during the debate, Lee Carter, pollster and president of Mislansky Plus Partners, conducted a focus group for Fox News, which included having voters react through the use of turn dials that allowed them to respond moment by moment to what each candidate was saying.
So, Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit.
It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. Just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences. Like run, spot, run. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else.
So my values have not changed, and I'm going to discuss at least every point that you've made. But in particular, let's talk about fracking, because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act.
Defund the police. She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. Criminals off the street, and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow, and I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it, because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof.
Right.
Been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v. Wade, you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month, and probably after birth. So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
I mean, did you guys notice what I noticed? I put a little color coding at the bottom so you understand what you're looking at. The red line is Republicans, the blue line is Democrats, and the yellow is independents, although a lot of you guys probably gathered that initially. And just look at the divide. The way it seems to me is that independents are tracking right along Republicans. That's what I was saying. What message are they going to fall in line with? Kamala Harris's MSNBC Rachel Maddow, theatrical performance? Democrats, Project 2025, or actual real economic vision and policy like energy independence, a little bit more economic protectionism, protecting the border, curbing government overspending, finding efficiencies in how that money is spent and not just, throwing it around during Washington pool parties. And you get $1 billion and you get $1 billion. Trump's talking about real substantive stuff, and it seems like independents are interested, at least according to this data. And like I keep saying and like I keep framing in a lot of these videos, it feels as though reality, what you're seeing in a lot of the data and a lot of the anecdotal interactions, well, it just kind of seems like the polar opposite of what the left-wing mainstream media establishment is presenting. It feels like they're trying to create this false premise, this false narrative that doesn't actually exist. Again, supposedly there's all this hype for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's headed down the tubes, but I'm not so sure that that's the case. Actually, here's another interesting example that popped up on my timeline earlier today. We have both.
Oh, let me pause it. I want y'all to see this. He quadrupled the views with that closing statement to anything that she said in that debate. People resonated with Trump during this debate. Undecided voters resonated. Independent they resonated with what Trump said, especially what he said at the end of that debate. And that's one reason I wish he would have just, hit that throughout the entire debate. I mean, just, and that he shut down that 3-verse-1. And that he said, hey, why are y'all not fact checking her? It's been debunked. Why are y'all not fact checking her? Everything y'all talking about, it's everything she's talking about has been debunked. It's lies. Why are y'all not fact checking her?
Closing statements from both candidates posted on social media separately, and just look at the data. Trump has over 1 million likes, 65,000 comments, and 58,000 bookmarks, with 11.7 million views. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is...
I know what bookmarks mean. They come back to it. Bookmarks. I have tons of stuff bookmarked on my profile that I go back to. Over almost 60,000 bookmarks. Wow.
Is at a measly 3.5 million views, 176,000 likes, and 18,000 comments, where mostly in the comments, she is getting demolished. Kamala Harris had to convince people, but I'm not so sure that she did a great job, especially with independents. The Democrats are going to seal clap to everything, ERF. But I don't know, maybe I'm a partisan optimist, or maybe I'm an optimist in people's basic intellectual capabilities, because I just don't see a world where people didn't see through that Kamala Harris mask. And actually, the night of, I made an initial reaction that released the next day, and I said essentially exactly this. I said, I think independents are going to slowly continue to move towards Donald Trump after that debate. Well, that might have been an accurate assessment. And some of the stuff we're seeing from these focus groups, just wow.
What did you see that brought you to a conclusion?
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
I think a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are seeing straight through the mirage. And once you gain that ability to see, the third dimension there, well, most of the time there's no going back. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Hopefully, people are seeing it. Anyways, that's pretty much...
Yep. This is good. It's eye-opening to see those undecided independents resonate, with President Trump during that debate, man. It was very eye-opening to see. But again, to me, it was as expected. Everybody was watching the exact same thing. Everybody was screaming at their TV. Everybody seeing how terrible, what a terrible job ABC did. Those moderators are such a disgrace. They should be fired immediately, terminated. And you see why tons of advertisers pulled out millions and millions of dollars because they say it was not conducted fairly. Yeah. But hey, let me know what y'all think. Bless you all and your families. Huge shout out to Liberal Hive Mind. Link will be in the description box down below. And I will catch you beautiful patriots, my brothers and sisters, in the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.